guys. Hi everyone. Hi Elements. Welcome back to Elemental ASMR. So for tonight's video, I thought that we could do something just a little bit different that we haven't done on the channel yet. And we are going to read some short scary stories off of Reddit. I've gone through and picked a few already that are like a nice length. So yeah, I just thought we could have a bit of a spooky story reading. I've been really enjoying all these like Halloween themed videos, so hopefully you're not too bored of them just yet. But thank you for the constant support. I can't believe we made it to 300 subscribers in just 2 months. That's mental to me. So I can't say thank you enough. But yeah, let's crack on with the stories. So feel free to pause now, get in bed, chill out, get maybe a hot drink, some snacks, and just feel nice and relaxed. Okay, so the first story is by J_Lee13, and it is called The Spider and the Bug. Daddy, can I have one more story? I've already told you 2. Please, just one more. I can't think of another one. Just make one up, please. He stifled in annoyance as he took in her small form against the pillow. Single parenting required reserves of patience. He didn't know he had, but truth be told, she'd been worth it. Even in the darkness of the evening, her pale skin and hair gleamed in the moonlight. So, unlike his own, he reflected, not for the first time, how she looked just like her mother. Fine, I thought of one, but it's lights out after. You won't grow without good sleep. She smiled and nodded eagerly as he cleared his throat and began. Once upon a time there was a spider. He was very hungry, but he had to learn how to be a proper spider. The traps that spiders set can't be too obvious, or they'll never catch a bug. So he learned to be sneaky, to act like a bug, so the other bugs wouldn't suspect him. It took time, but eventually he got a few bugs. They were good, but he was still so hungry. Then, one day, the most wonderful surprise happened. What is it? A whole family of bugs fell into his web. That spider got right to work because he was so hungry. He ate the daddy bug. Right away. That made him very full, so he took his time with the mummy bug. She was the very best bug he'd ever had. All the while, he watched the baby bug. She didn't look big enough to make a good meal, but he couldn't very well release her either. Eventually, he decided to keep her. She was very helpful to the spider. All the other bugs came right to her. The spider was happy to use her in his web until she got big enough. is just a bug. Oh, now, time for bed. Good night, Daddy. Good night, my little bug. Yeah, so like I say, I just went through and picked out. I'd say I've got 5, just because I didn't know how long it would take me to read. Some of them, I can be a little bit of a slow reader. But yeah, I just tried to find some that I thought, oh, I'm really intrigued with that. And I just thought that was a really kind of nice spin on the whole, it's meant to be sweet, Dad's reading her a bedtime story, and then it turns out he's like the spider using the little girl. Yeah, so I quite like that one. Right, so the next one is by Casas _in_red. And it's titled The Cold Man. Just gonna have a quick sip of my hot chocolate. Right, yeah, so The Cold Man. Katie hugged her stuffed animals as the voices of her parents grew louder. Although she didn't fully understand why the car had been stopped, it was becoming clear that something was very wrong. Sharp words rang out like no signal and burning rubber. The tires had made a horrible screeching noise, and there was a nasty smell. Was that burning rubber? Katie wondered. As the blare of the heater failed to drown out the argument, Katie looked out the window to the forest beyond. Fading sunlight illuminated the dense thicket of pine, and for trees which went off in every direction. Flurry, white snow covered their branches, the ground, everything. Its deepest parts looked as though they could swallow her nearly to the neck. Sprinkles of fresh powder were beginning to silently fall from the sky. Katie loved the forest like this. It reminded her of Christmas. Her parents' fighting was reaching a fever pitch now. Gas will only last so long, her daddy shouted. Barry and Joyce will report us missing tomorrow if we just wait, her mother fired back. Katie covered her ears with a gloved hand and her stuffed doggy. That helped it not hurt as much. As the muffled screaming continued and the forest grew darker, Katie noticed something behind one of the larger trees. A skinny, bald man stooped in the snow. He didn't seem to have a shirt on, was very pale, and rubbing his shoulders as he watched her with large, dark eyes. There's a cold man outside, shouted Katie. Her parents' argument continued. Guys, there's a man in the snow and he needs our help. Katie reached forward and shook at her mummy and daddy's shoulders. What? said Joyce, a bit puzzled. He's behind that tree. Look! Katy turned back to the window, eager to point him out, but when she did, the man was gone. Her father sighed. Catherine, your mother and I need to figure out what to do. Please don't play make-believe right now, okay? After that, the fighting resumed. As darkness came, it was eventually decided that they would wait for morning. All the while, Katy had looked for the cold man, but she never saw him again. She cuddled with her mummy and slept in the back seat as her daddy stayed up to keep watch. Katy hoped he'd spot the cold. Katy hoped she'd spot the cold man and let him in the car if she saw him. Tap, tap, tap. Katy's eyes fluttered open to harsh sunlight, but the first thing she noticed was the cold. It bit her lips and made her fingers hurt. Mummy, she croaked as she reached across the car seat, but her mother, Warmth, wasn't there. Daddy, she craned her neck to look at the front seat, but her father was absent from his spot. The car wasn't running. Tap, tap, tap. Katy's eyes shot to the window. Just outside the glass was the face of the cold man, his lips stained red with fresh blood. I did quite like that one as well. I thought it was I suppose a lot of people can associate with parents bickering, but that whole sense of spookiness of a figure off in the distance when you're broken down in a car, and then she just awakes and she's all alone. Yeah, I wouldn't like to be in her position. Okay, so this next one is by Fireside Chats 451. I hope I'm allowed to sort of credit these people. Like I say, they're on Reddit. If you like this video, obviously go and have a look at is it a subreddit? I'm not too sure. I'm not very familiar with Reddit. But the Reddit name is just r/short scary stories. And that's where I just found all these stories. So please go and check out all the other stories. They're again, there's loads and loads on there. But I just picked a few that I thought were quite interesting. To me, at least, anyway. But if you are enjoying this video, please feel free to give me a like or a subscribe. It would really help the channel. My next goal is 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, any help would be amazing. Okay, so sorry. Back to it. So this story is by Fireside Chats 451 and it's called The House. I wander empty halls. The windows have been dark so long. I can't remember the light. Dust coats every shelf, every table. Even the carpets are more cobweb than fibre. But no matter how I drift, I never leave footprints in my wake. I can't remember the feel of the floorboards beneath my feet, the warmth of sun on my face, the sweet lull of sleep. Time is meaningless in the afterlife. I pass from room to room, attic to stair, pantry to basement. I cannot leave the confines. There is no knob on the front door. As though the house itself means to keep me. The others can I call them others? Empty eyes and stiff limbs, laying abandoned where they fell. In my lonelier moments I speak to them, imagining voices replying to my own, but it's okay. But it's only a waking dream. This is my eternity, my purgatory, my Tartarus. At least I thought so. One day I drift across the living room, lost in thought, when blinding lights blast through the windows, shouts so loud. I grit my teeth, eyes shut tight against the glare. When I open them, a giant eye appears through the window, the white showing as it stares. The shouts start again, so close I want to scream, to beg for it to stop, but I am powerless. Through the pain, the words barely register. Mum, look what I found. I always wanted a doll's house. Can I have it? Mummy, please. But yeah, that one, again, I just kind of like the idea, or like the storyline of like someone think like it's almost like a doll's come to life, and they're trapped there until a child finds them. They sort of have no purpose and they're just aimlessly wandering. But yeah, so I quite like that. Sorry about that. So, I got about 2 more left. I think we'll be able to do both. Yeah, so the next story is by Dayol56. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And it is called The Red-Eyed Children. I don't remember how much I drank or how many pills I took. I just know I smoked 2 packs of Winston. It was an average Wednesday, around 2 or 3 a.m. I wasn't planning on sleeping either way. But what happened didn't let me a choice. When the doorbell rang, I thought of not answering it, but for some reason I stood up. After opening the door, I saw 3 red-eyed children. I didn't feel scared, but curious, probably because of the alcohol. "Where are your parents?" I asked. "We don't know," they said at the same time. I felt it was weird how they looked and acted, but then again, drugs and alcohol. "Can we use your phone?" they asked. Of course, I slurred. Before I knew it, and once I lost track of them, I didn't see them again. I searched for them in the kitchen and in my room, but nothing. And the reason I'm here, Doctor, is what I saw in the bathroom mirror. Why are my eyes red? Bit creepy. I'm not too sure if it's a sensible idea to answer the door at 2 or 3 a.m. In my opinion, I would just pretend I was asleep. But yeah, could you just imagine answering your door at that sort of time in the morning and just seeing 3 like almost possessed kids? Yeah. Know me, I would just slam the door and run to my bed. Right, so this is our last story, and it is by Neither Plays VR, and it's called The Whispering Shadows. Right. In the sleepy town of Willowbrook, nestled amidst the dense woods, an aura of unease lingered, a hushed secret passed down through generations. It was said that the whispering shadows, a spectral presence, haunted the woods and brought doom to those who ventured too close. Emily, a young photographer with an adventurous spirit, had recently moved to Willowbrook, drawn to its natural beauty. Eager to capture the essence of the town, she set off into the woods one crisp autumn afternoon. Her camera slung over her shoulder, and as she ventured deeper into the forest, the dense canopy above began to swallow the sunlight, and the air grew heavy with a palpable tension. Unbeknownst to Emily, a local legend warned against wandering too far into the woods alone. The whispering shadows were said to be vengeful spirits of those who had met gruesome fates, and they preyed on intruders, but curiosity, like a dark force, compelled her forward. Soon Emily lost her way, the trees forming an impenetrable maze around her. Her heart pounded with fear as she heard faint, chilling whispers, like the murmuring of restless souls. She tried to retrace her steps, but every path seemed to lead her deeper into the darkness. As night fell, Emily's fear intensified. The whisper grew louder, and she could feel an unseen presence closing in. She snapped photographs in all directions, hoping to capture evidence of what lurked among the trees. But when she reviewed the pictures, her blood ran cold. In each photo, shadowy figures seemed to loom, their eyes glowing with malevolence. Desperation drove Emily onwards, her flashlight trembling in her trembling hand. The forest, once alive with chirping crickets and rustling leaves, now held an eerie silence. She stumbled upon an old, decrepit cabin, hidden deep in the woods. Its windows shattered and its door hanging off its hinges. Cautiously she entered, her heart pounding with trepidation. The interior was shrouded in darkness, save for a flickering candle at the far end. Emily approached, her breath catching in her throat when she saw a series of photographs displayed on the cabin walls. They were images of people, their eyes hollow and filled with despair, their skin unnaturally pale. In every photograph, the whispering shadows loomed in the background. Emily realized the grim truth. The cabin had belonged to the previous victim, and these were their final moments captured in chilling detail. She turned to flee, but the door slammed shut behind her, trapping her in the nightmarish cabin. The whispering shadows materialized before her, their ghostly forms contoured in agony. They whispered tales of their torment and despair, filling Emily's mind with horrors beyond imagination. She clutched her camera, snapping one final photograph as her sanity unraveled. Weeks later, search parties combed the woods for Emily, but they found only her camera. Lying on the ground outside the cabin, the photographs it contained were a testament to her nightmarish encounter. Willowbrook's legend of the whispering shadows. Testament of her nightmarish encounter. Sorry about that. Willowbrook's legend of the whispering shadows lived on, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurked in the heart of the woods, waiting for the next unsuspecting soul to wander too close. So that's all the stories we have. I have personally really enjoyed making this video, so I really hope that you guys have enjoyed it. Again, if you could give me a like or leave me a comment, what was your favourite story from the ones I read? But if you guys really enjoyed this, send me some more. Let's leave a comment below on some other stories I could potentially read for you. But yeah, once again, just a massive thank you for all your support on the channel. It really does mean so much to me, and I'm just loving this sort of adventure, learning new things for the channel, what you guys like, what you don't like. But yeah, thank you so much, and I hope you have a good